Hello, this is RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. Hey guys, so after 48 hours with the Pixel 3 XL, I can say, yes, I am returning it. And I can't say how happy I am to return this phone because it has so many issues that I'm about to go over that I wouldn't recommend this phone. I really wouldn't. So let's go over it. First of all, I am being a little bit facetious because I am going to get the Pixel 3 instead. For me, it's a much better phone and it doesn't have a lot of the issues that this one has, and the issues it does have, well, I'd rather pay $100 less anyway. So let's go over it. First of all, does this phone have a great camera? Yeah, it really does. And I can see where it shines and where it doesn't shine in the camera department. I am going over the full camera view over the next few days, so make sure to check that out. But it's really interesting when you're in a low light setting like this and you get to see between this phone, the Note, and the iPhone and see which one does good at what. Overall, the Pixel 3 camera is really good, but I don't think it's as great as everyone is saying in terms of how just perfect it is, because it does take bad photos. I've taken several of them with this one. So overall, it's a good phone, but the camera is really why people would buy this phone. I can honestly say that. Now, let's go over the notch implementation, because the notch is a big controversial part of this phone, and I'm not a YouTuber that says, get over the notch, it's 2018, every phone has a notch. Not every phone has a notch, first of all, F you. And second of all, I don't want to get over it, because if we allow ourselves to be okay with the notch, then 2019 will have more notches, and we don't want that. So you get over it. Now, the notch implementation on this phone, though, is horrible. Yes, you can go to developer options and hide the notch, but it doesn't really implement it well. Everything is just lowered, including all of your data at the top that you want to be higher. So you really want to get an app called something like Nacho Notch. Yes, that's really the name of the app. And that one really has a much better implementation to hide the notch. However, when you watch a video and put it in full screen, there is no hiding that part. You see the notch in its full glory, and I don't know how you can not see that notch, because I know YouTubers lie all the time about saying that they don't see it. So overall, I really say that the notch is a bad implementation, especially when others have done it a lot better. OnePlus, LG, and Huawei have all figured out how to hide the notch. So at launch, Google, when you had so much more time, how did you not figure that out? How did you not figure that out? It's like, what are you doing software-wise? It really astounds me. Now, speaking of software-wise, it has really outdated software in my opinion. The ability to only see one app is really poor, and not the fact that it just isn't a good implementation. There are other manufacturers that implement this much better and do productivity over the look. This is iOS. This is Android. The difference being that one is productivity, one is just the look of it. And if you don't know what Android users like, if you don't know that Android users like productivity over that, then go over to iOS developers and software makers, because you don't know what Android is. Now, that being said, there also is things like split screen that isn't done well, because you can't move it over one side to another. You can't clear all apps without swiping over all the way to the side. There's so many issues with this version of Android Pie, and I pray to God manufacturers take forever to upgrade it, because it's not an upgrade. In my opinion, Android Pie is a downgrade. But Ricky, you're saying, what about the adaptive battery and all these cool things that all these tech YouTubers tell us about? Well, the battery life on this is actually really poor. So I don't mind going to a smaller Pixel 3 because this phone doesn't give me a good battery life. I don't know where this adaptive battery life went, but I can tell you that it's not here. It really does a poor job of battery, and this phone drains much quicker than, say, a Note 9, using it side by side throughout the day when I'm not even using it as much. So it really is astounding that the battery life isn't good. That really did surprise me. So it's not really a better battery life. But what about the screen size? This has a bigger screen than the other one. Well, in that sense, it actually doesn't again. So overall, the screen is going to be about the same size once you hide the notch. That being said, it really is, then why do I have this phone? Why am I having this phone instead of the Pixel 3? Because the Pixel 3 will also be a smaller phone, so I can hold it in the hand more easily. And since I'm not getting that much of a better battery life, then what's the point? The battery size actually went down on this phone compared to last year's model, whereas the Pixel 3 size went up compared to last year's model. So overall, I'm losing more with this phone than I'm gaining with the other phone. Not to mention that the RAM management is poor. I have had several times as a power user where a game was messing up on me, or literally Chrome told me, I do not have enough memory to perform this action. What the hell, Google? Like, this kind of stuff is unacceptable. Not to mention the blue tint issue that I showed in my unboxing is there on my phone. I don't know if I got unlucky enough to get maybe an LG screen compared to everyone else mostly getting Samsung screens. Maybe there is like a 80-20% out there with this kind of issue. I don't know. But overall, I did have that blue tint issue as well. And overall, for the price point of $900, these kind of issues are just unacceptable to me, and I would gladly take a Pixel 3 over this phone because the XL doesn't really offer me more. And honestly, for $900, there are much better smartphones out there, or even cheaper smartphones out there that I think implement all of these things much, much better. So yeah, after 48 hours, I am returning the Pixel 3 XL, and overall, I will say I'm happy about it. It was a bad experience, and I had a bad experience with the 2 XL last year, but overall I did get used to it, but it did not stay in my daily driver for long. I think the Pixels have a great camera, but stock Android is such an outdated software compared to other Android manufacturers that it really needs to step up if it really wants to be impressive. I like near stock better than stock, because people like OnePlus and other people that keep it near stock at least implement things that Android users want, not what Google does. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I know other YouTubers have said nothing like this, and I'm okay with that because I don't get invited to these events, so I have no fear of being uninvited to the next event. And that's why I'm always going to be honest with you guys, because I want you guys to know exactly how I feel, not a sugar-coated version of it. Thank you as always for watching. This has been RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. Thank you for watching our video. If you liked it, why don't you go ahead and subscribe up there. Make sure you follow us on social media right here. And of course, check out our latest video up there. And right down here, you're going to find the perfect video for you. Or at least that's what YouTube tells me. Thanks again.